Oh, hello. Welcome back to the studio. I think this is number 6. 6th week of painting with Maestro. John. Now today we're going to change a little bit. We're going to do l'éléphant. That's French for elephant. Obviously. You will have seen the finished article and the still before that. Nevertheless, there's your elephant. Look at him. He's an African one because he's big ear holes. Look, there you go. That's what we're going to look at. That's what we're going to actually paint. Right, we're going to start off by drawing the elephant out. Here's my line drawing, which you will look at separately. I'm just going to talk a little bit about this line drawing. Make sure you get the line drawing right. You see this? No one in the world is going to... Anyone can tell you that's an elephant. Anyone that's ever seen an elephant knows anything about elephants will know it's an elephant. So get that line drawing right. Now, that means it could take you quite a while, as a lot of artists do say two days to draw, 1 day to paint. All right. Judith Kerr, that illustrator that did Mog, the cat and the tiger came in. Very, very simple illustration she did. Very, very famous illustrator. She always said she spent more time rubbing out than drawing. All right. So make sure you get it right. It might even take you an hour to get this thing right. Even trace it off your screen. Do it that way. Or make measurements, but go it line by line. Just look at that. Get these shapes right until you've got an elephant. All right. Once you get the shape of the elephant, you can't lose. All right. Look at this. Here I've taken this elephant and I have not made any attempt in my painting to make it look like an elephant. Look at that. When did you ever see an elephant like that? Yet still, it's unmistakably an elephant because it's drawn right. You see? Drawn properly, painted, well, just slap the paint on. But it's still an elephant. So you can relax. What I'm saying here is you can relax in your painting, because no matter what you put into these shapes here, it's still going to look like an elephant. So don't go trying to make it look like an elephant. Paint it nicely. Having said that, now we're ready to go. We're going to start off with the backwash. Alright? Now don't just slap this on. I mean, put it on nice. I'm starting off with my usual wash here. What I'll do is I'll give you a slightly dirty wash, or coloured wash should I say, with this Naples yellow. So as you can see where it's going. There you go, you can see that? I'm just putting it all, we're using a really old piece of manky paper for this as well, because it's a demo, you see? So we're getting a nice wash on. Now, this is a very hazy sort of backwash that we're working on. It's all about the elephant, of course. So we don't want to have a really statement-like backwash. Not on this occasion, we don't. There you go, and we've gone all around the elephant, so we're like isolating the elephant, okay? So there we go, just a wash. I'm doing it in very much of a sort of illustrative, vignette type way. Like this, that's nice. But remember, even though we want this elephant to stand out, don't we? Your elephant is only as good as your backwash. If your backwash is horrible, you can look right through the elephant into the horribleness of the backwash. We're going to go straight in. I'm going to be using Naples yellow, maybe some yellow ochre, some burnt umber, that sort of thing. You'll see it as it goes on. And I'll probably have a little dash of green around his feet, you know, because, you know, that might suggest some grass or something, because grass tends to be green. Not over there, it can be sort of yellow, but you know what I mean. So here we go. I'm just going to go straight in around his ear up here. Just nicely, look. Like that, and then maybe round, nice and relaxed. Look at that, some nice shapes around him, see, so suggest trees back there or something. That's very nice. I'm going to give him a little bit of something to stand on. You don't want for him to appear floating. It needs to be sort of on something. So here we go, like that sort of thing. Look at that, already that's a nice little juxtapositioned malarkey. I'm going to give it a little bit of a gap there and come down here a little bit there. Just like that. So make the shapes right. Look at that, that's nice. We've got negative spaces here. Yep, you see that in the original here? You've got these nice clear areas in the backwash. Now I'm going to operate around here a little bit with a darker, so I'll go in with my yellow ochre. That's Geordie for ochre. Right, stick the old brush. Now I'm using a number 9 here, but you can use anything from. Look at that. Oh, nice. That's it. Little out here, maybe a little bit there. Oh, bring a bit down here like that. That's nice. See, that's nice, isn't it? Simple, bit in there perhaps. Let's get him standing on something. Oh, Bubba the elephant, trumpet, go back to the circus. Okay, so now I've let that dry a little bit longer because we're actually changing the battery. Ha 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 ha. Thought might as well give that away. And now I'm just going to put some dark in there like this. Just drop it in around nicely, diddle-a-lum, diddle-a-lum, like that. Maybe a little darker one, a bit of that, nice. There we go, just that sort of thing. And then a bit down here like this. And that'll do you. So there we are, that sort of thing you want. All nice and dry. So now I'm going to try quite sort of cauliflowery there, quite nicely. You know, obviously I did that on purpose. Now we're going to work, I'm going to work the elephant bit by bit. Old Bobo here, we'll call him Bobo I think. I'm going to start off, I'm going to work each patch individually. First of all I'm going to work this area here. It is his ear, but I'm not going to think of it as that. I'm just going to look at the nice, in my source work, I'm just going to look at the nice sort of where it's dark and where it's light, and basically that's it. So here we go, I'm just putting a little wash on, right, just some nice clean water here. For this operation I'm using a number 4 brush, so it's a little bit littler. The area's a bit smaller, so I suppose that's pretty self-explanatory. And the 2 colours I'm going to use, I quite often like to use a little bit of purple in this, but for simplicity's sake I'm just going to keep in the grey of the elephant. There you go, so I'm doing it grey, so already that's more of an elephant colour than that, isn't it? Right, so there we are. Now all I'm doing is concentrate on filling in this area. Forget elephant, just think that area. Here I go. Now that looks about right, ready to go. Just take a little bit of water off there. Get me rag in my hand because I'm going to be using it. Just a little bit of water. I'm going to start off by going into this sort of, some of these dark areas around the edge of the ear, keeping that bit light. But it's going to be very simple. That. See that? Nice. I'm going to take it in a little bit, so get a little bit of white on the thing. Just take it in like that. That's nice. And we'll just have a little bit at the top up here, like that, just a little bit there. And then we're going to go in here, a little bit of shadow behind his bonce up there, and that's nice. I'm not quite sure like that, so I'm going to get in with dark again and just take the dark back in there. Oh, that's nice. Look at that already. Already I want to start trumpeting down the corridor like a elephant. Like that. There's no, won't do you any harm to make elephant noises whilst you're doing this. People will will wonder what you're doing, but you know, it's just you being an artist. We're getting onto a smaller brush now, just to get some little more sort of slightly neatery, nicely bits in. Maybe something like, I'm looking at a thing a little bit like that. Oh. And then we'll have a little bit of this. We're not going to do any of the, see all these creases and all that, we're going to do those at the end, alright? So don't put them in now. We want to do that. We want to get our washes in when it's nice and wet, and we'll put these on when the whole thing's dry, okay? I'm just going to go, just maybe, just come down on that pencil mark there. Another little thing, you notice that my pencil marks are really, really dark. That's purely for your benefit, so as you can see the outline when I'm painting it. The reality of the situation is I'd rub this right down, so I could still see the line drawing, but it'd be very faint, alright? Do you know what? I think that's probably all it needs, maybe just a little flourish there. Remember, less is good, less is good. There. That'll do for that, until we're going to do a little bit more detail later. I'm now going to come right across the painting because I don't really want to do a bit that's going to touch that ear because it'll all join together. So we're going to go down this leg here. No, we're not. We're going to start with this tiny back leg there. Just that little triangle there. Because that's behind this leg, so we want to get it in first. So a tiny little wash. Really tiny little wash. This bit's done in next to no time. Start with from there up to there like that. And then a little bit of darker just down in the V here, and that's that bit done. So you're just doing bit by bit by bit. None of the bits you're going to do are really going to be any more complicated. Maybe when we get to this, the head part, that's going to be a bit more tricky, but the rest of it is all pretty much the same. You're just filling in the little areas consistently. Look at that, sweet as a nut. There we go. How are we doing with juice up there, Sam?
I would get a little wiggly on.
Yeah, okay. I'm now going to operate down this area here. Do you see? Oh, this is great. I've dropped a bit of what's it called on there, so I'll just dried it off with me. Just a bit of water on there. So now I'm going to go on this area. That's going to be. This is going to be well right dark back in the mix. Okay. It's 1, 2. There we go, lovely, lovely, lovely. Down here, so that's really, really dark, but it's going to be even darker this side. So I'm turning it round, cleaning the brush, and going in with the Payne's Grey, really dark now, so quite thick. In it goes like that, look at that. Nicely, just paint each bit nicely. It's the sum of its parts. So that's another, the elephant's on parade, the elephant's on, that's another elephant. I think I might have made that one up actually. So that's so you can get the idea. We're gradually going to build the thing up. Let's go over to this here now. Have we got time for that?
I'm not sure.
Let's have a go.
Go on. Do you want to give it a go, John? Go on. You can do it. Work your magic.
And this will be the last sort of bit until we recharge the battery. This is a race against time now. This is a lot of dark on this one, so I'm going to make this one basically darker. The whole thing around his eyeball there. Yeah, and then round the edge of the sort of quite dark up here, a bit darker there, and then round the edge of his ear, and in the shadows here, we're going to make it proper dark. Look at that. And then that goes round his little tusk there, little baby tusk, right up under his eye. That's nice. I can see that bit there, which just gives coming in on the ear hole. Clean that brush, go for the little brush, and get a bit of white and just meld these in a little bit like this. Yeah, see that? That's nice, like that. And right at the extremities, right in the shadows, right here, go darker again. Yeah. See that? Now it's already looking like a Monsieur l'Olifant, isn't he? And all the other little, just on the point of his ear, get it really dark. And then all the other little bits that we're going to put on his ear, all that lot, that can come later. Alright, now at this point, all the bits are sort of, anything I do next will be touching one of the other bits. So we're going to give this a rest and let it all dry. Okay, so now we're going to move on. It's all dried now, so we can carry on. More of the same, really. So I'm going to start off with this little section here. Same colours, just keep it simple, keep it simple. Same little brush this time. It's going to be it's the 4, but I will move on to my titchy brush just to get into the corners. Yeah. Just give that nicely, put it there ready in its special place just next to that line there. It's not really a special place, I made that up. Actually I'm going to go straight to it because this is such a narrow piece of land that we're aiming at here. So here we go. Starting from here, it's carrying on from this side of this part of the leg, isn't it? So you carry on where you left off, sort of thing. So it needs to be a bit darker there. So that joins up with that, doesn't it? And then gradually, using a bit more white in the mix, just take it up and into the up the thing there, keeping it simple. Maybe just take this bit in there, let the water do the work a little bit there, perhaps a little bit down there. I want to have a little bit of under there, maybe a little bit of shadow. And seriously, that is that. That really is that. Except it's not quite, because the lights come back down here, so I need to just darken that up a bit, yeah? That's better. That's, oh, and I've got a nice cauliflower going on there. A nice cauliflower. He likes a cauliflower. Oh, he loves the cauliflower. What he hopes for now is another cauliflower somewhere over here. But don't worry if you don't get it. I'm going in now on this long leg here. So this is a bit more of a, obviously a bit more area to cover. The bigger the area, the more complex in a sense. But again, I'm putting a wash on with my numero 4. That's French for number 4. Numero 4. That's how they speak. Like that. Cat. Or cuatro. That's your Spanish. Oh, multilingual. Here we go. Run out of white, so I'm going to replenish my palette with some more white. Look. Now, we can look from our source where, and that's Scouse work, that this side of the leg is away from the light source, so that's going to be darker, generally speaking. So I'm going to start off by making this top area really in the shadow there. Look, I'm not using black. Black tends to look a little, just bring his ear out a bit. Black tends to look a little bit flat. So I'd never really use it. I'm not saying don't use it for little money shots, but for washes I definitely stick with Payne's Grey. Okay, so that comes there like that. Oh, make him come down the side there nicely. Work this in a bit more like that. I'm going to go back to the Payne's Grey and hit him hard on this side. Yep. Look at that. You've got plenty of time, so no rushing. Just, I'm running out of Payne's Grey, so I'm going to need some Payne's Grey. Now underneath this trunk, we want to show that proper dark. Like that, see that? You can see his leg coming on nicely. He's happy with that, the artist is happy with that. He moves in. He moves in. It's always good to commentate, like, as you know, in the third person. He moves in. The artist moves in. Cleans his brush. Comes in with some white. When it's a subtle bit, comes in with some white. Like that, you see. Whew. Oh, a little flick up there. He likes that. Now, here we go. Oh, I've just got a great idea. This is what you do. So just watch this bit for now. Yeah, it's got a bit of a funny shape going on there, but it'll be fine. Remember what we said beforehand. I'm not going to do his toenails yet. I'm just going to do that, and that's fine. I'll just jazz him up later when we do these things. You know what, when we were talking about just paint it nicely, that's nicely painted. So we will be able to see ever so clear that's lily fond. Right, it's drying a bit up here, so we're just going to darken it there. And I've just sort of something, it's a bit late in the day for some of the other ones, but I think for this one in particular, it is worth, you look at your source work quite a lot, so why not take a photo of the source work with your camera and have that as a still next to you there that you can, you know, that you can constantly refer to. That's quite a good idea. I'm going to paint this, I'm just going to paint him flat against there like that, and just do all these bits in later because they're like a finishing touch. I like that. Really, pretty much. I think we can actually come down to this. No, I don't. I think we. That's just that I'm giving you really sort of shortcut bad advice there. Wait for these two bits to dry now, and then we'll tackle the next 2 bits. So, on we go. On with our elephant who's charging through the jungle like a good one. I'm now going to put a, what's it called here? Wash. Just in this area here, which is his sort of top half of his front leg. and then the undercarriage of his undercarriageness. But it's basically this area that we're looking at here, which you'll have on your still by now on your camera, I'm sure. We're going to start off by doing the really dark bit right down in the cavity here, okay, which is really going to show his trunk off later. So nice big dollop of the old Payne's Grey, huh? With the number 4 brush I'm going for. Move that out of the equation, that's French for equation. There we go, like that, look, just in there. Avoid the tusk, it's only a tiny little tusk on this little fella. And there we are, because as a youngster, I reckon, actually I don't even know that that's what it means, do you? You know, I don't know much about elephants, and what they look like and all that lot, and that they trumpet and they're mainly called Bobo. Or Dumbo, that was another one, wasn't it? Dumbo the elephant. I don't think it was Bobo the elephant that trumped his trump. I think it was, oh, I don't know, some such elephant that trumped his trump and said goodbye to the circus. Off he went with the trumpety tromp, 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 tromp. I'm not sure if it was Bobo or not really, but I like the idea of Bobo. Bobo the l'éléphant. Try and sing it all in French. Bébé l'éléphant, trompety tromp. Stupid. There we are, and now we're going to just give that a little time to dry a little bit. Then get on with the white here on my little brush. And just tease that wash in. Bing! I've got a bit of, can't help but repeat things, a bit Tourette'sy really, not really. There, like that, look. And now as it dries, I'm going to delineate this a bit more, that sort of thing going. Oh, I'm more happy with that. I'm just moving the paint around in there a bit just to make that wash nicely. You're in complete control here, by the way. It's nice and wet, you can just watch it, look at it. That's, you don't really want more than that. I might have a little bit of something in there just to show that muscle that they have there. That I pretend I know about, don't really, of course. Maybe a little bit of that in there, because that just looks nice. I'm liking that. I'm liking that quite a lot. So now moving in, I'm going to do this bit here. So it comes in like that. Now we're going to continue his leg into this area here, alright? So go in with the wash again, a little light wash, clean all brushes. Brushes all cleaned. Maintain your weapon. So there we are. In he goes, just a nice little wash, nice gentle wash. We're not over wetting this. It still take a while, 15 minutes to dry on that after we've done it. So just to wash all the way in his leg, try not to go over the edge if you do. And it's just a little bit, don't worry too much. I'm moving now to my smaller brush, getting it into the quite thick paint there, so it doesn't go everywhere. So we're just going down this edge like this, bring that in, and it goes a little, and then it goes quite big there. And we've got a bit of a problem there, which we might have to deal with later. Black against black, might have to do some white little funny bits up there. But I'm moving in. Basically, we're just going to take the wash over a little bit, over his foot there, like that. That's nice, actually, that works perfectly well.
Oh, carry on.
Oh, carry on, carry on. I thought that we'd run out of juice there.
No, my phone's being a bit of a nuisance now.
So mine wasn't there, yours is, but that's what happens. And that's quite nice, actually. I quite like those shapes. You know, and just ask yourself after you do each little bit, does it still look like an elephant? Well, of course it looks like an elephant. So don't worry about it look like an elephant, just do it nicely. Look at that. I'm loving that little thing. It's a bit like doing it this way, it's a bit like painting by numbers with skill, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Or doing a jigsaw, but with skill. That's it, because look, it is, you're just doing it one bit at a time. Now we very much have to wait for all this to dry to get onto the old face and the trunk. So here we are. We're down to his visage and his trunk. Now, I will warn you at this bit, because we won't paint his eyes in. As we've been painting him along, as we've been moving it along, it's been looking quite, it just sort of looks better and better, doesn't it? when we've done this bit, he might look a bit odd because you won't have done his eyes, we won't have done the marks over the top. So just be wary of that. I'm just going to do a wash right the way over his face here, avoiding his eye, but not too carefully. Remember, this is quite a loose painting as well, so going over the edge and here and there is not a problem. Got a bit of green on there somehow, don't worry about that, it just got on there. So to wash right down his trunk. Oh, blimey, that was a big, I didn't mean to put that much water on. But it happens. It's sometimes, you know that thing where you get a big load of water at the end of the brush, but you don't notice it, it just goes whoop. That happens to the best of us. And, you know, in that phrase I most definitely include me. Right, so I'm going to let that dry a little bit because I put a bit too much on. It's actually slipped over the edge into his, what's it called there, and bringing a bit of his trunk in, but I'm sure that'll be fine. I'm not going to let that bother us, a small thing like that. Now I'm looking at my source work, and basically we're going to just bring some, oh that's it, I forgot to start that, some grey up this side of his, light grey up the top part of his trunk, yeah? Goes like that, so we want it all the way down and plus here. Gets a bit darker around here, not too much darker, so that's good. Into the sort of centre of his, what's it called there, his elephant face. That's what it's called, an elephant's face. It's called an elephant face. Like that, and then it goes up here like this. So up this side, leaving that little bit of light here for his ear. Don't worry too much, we will get to overpaint that later when we do the overpainting part of the whole shebang. Across the top of his Swede like that. Now we're gonna very much have a look at, oh I can see clearly now, the rain has stopped. Right, here we go. Let's get this dark side bottom of this trunk like that. And then right the way around there, you see. And then we're going to bring it up like this. It's good to make elephant trumpety noises, obviously. Obvs, if you're painting an elephant, isn't it? Let's get that in here. Like that. Nice. But we want to give that a little bit of something heftier there, like that. And we're going to just up to here like this. Get him in there, just a little bit in his eyebrow there. A little bit around there. Now we're going to look at the top of his Swede here. Maybe get that bit in there like that. See that? Nice. It's nice. And we go like this, and then like that. I'm actually going to get a bit of white now, or very, very, very pale grey, and just bring that in there. I think that works nicely. I'll tidy that up later. Don't get bogged down in that sort of stuff now. We're now going to look at us round his eye area, okay, but just round his eye area. And let's see what we've got here. Let's get this brush here, nice little brush. And we're going to just look around the outside of his eye area, in other words this sort of part here, which comes in there and it goes down there, brings that nice there. See now you can see his sort of shape around his eye, that's really nice. Also we need to bring it down a little bit here as well, so that's there like that. It looks a bit odd now, but as I said, you will have bits that start to look a bit odd, but you just soldier on. And now this comes in sort of down to here like this. Don't join it up, keep it nice. And I like doing animals and things like this because I work in completely opposite way than a lot of people work. A lot of people say get the eye first and work around that because that's how you capture the animal and everything, but I always like to leave that till the end. It's a bit more dangerous because you might really muck it up and then you mucked up the whole picture. But I just like to do it to them because it brings it to life. I like to bring it to life. That's the sort of part of the process I like, really. This bit here, just going to give it a little bit of a waz there, something like that. That's quite nice. I'm not going to overpaint this. We're going to make sure we're going to wait till we do the actual all the little bits and bobs before we do that. I feel this is a bit flat here, so I might just get a little bit of a dark sort of patch in there, like that. Like that. Nice. That's good. And then I'm just going to go around the eye with this little bit lighter, I think, actually. Just going up there like that. And then just round the eye like that. So I'm just doing tiny little bits of just moving all these little bits of the stuff that's drying, just smoothing it out a little bit nicely. We can smooth all this out later. Do want to take this to its actual there. Like that. And really, for now, that's sort of what you need. That sort of thing. So it's looking like that. So it's still very much the elephant, but without his eyes in, jink, jink, and all the markings. He's not quite there, and also we've got to go up here, but we'll put that in. That's the finishing touch. So, barring all the... Now, we've got to the point now where we let him dry, and we just start zhuzhing the elephant up. And that's sort of going to be the fun part of it. Well, it's all fun, isn't it? But you can't deny, even now, that's an elephant. It could be nothing else with white holes in its head. But brilliant. So we'll leave it there to dry, and then we'll come back and we'll do all the little zhuzhy up bits, okay? Closing in on the Bobo the elephant. Actually, it's Nelly the elephant, isn't it? I don't know where I got Bobo from. Anyway, right. I'm going to start off by just shoving in his eyes. All right, nothing. Not going to do any detail on them. Just basically getting a little bit of Payne's grey there. With small brush, with quite thick paint, just literally just filling in the gaps of his eyes. You see, now you can see, and that one there coming out the side. No little dot of light to give him any lift yet. We're going to save that to the end. See, already that makes a difference. Now, all we're going to do is focus on his wrinkles, which we're going to, in order to do this, I'm just going to use this little brush. It's a 0, just a 1 0. So, you know, you can use a 000 if you want. I'm going to start off with making the grey a little bit lighter, so I'm bringing some white in here. Just lighten up that brush a little bit, get my rag. There he is down there. That's me rag. I've got one of my many rags. And I'm going to start off with his ear hole, look. Well, not his actual hole, the ear flap. And we're just going to, I'm looking at my source work and just see where, and just come off with a little flick like that, and a little flick like that. That's nice, isn't it? Little one there. Watch your spacing. Have a look. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. So keep it simple. Don't just go all the way along like this. One at a time. One at a time. Check it out. Check it out. Making sure you've got the spacing nicely. Look at it and you go, well, that's maybe just a little one there, and that'll do you for now. Simple as that, right? Now we move on to his Swede here. He's got a bit of a furrow going across his sort of forehead. There's that. Excuse me. So I do that lighter, you see. But when this crease, this wrinkle, whatever you want to call it, across the top of his Swede there, that's head, gets into the bit that's shaded, and now you need to darken the crease up so it darkens as it goes into the shade. Does that make sense, yeah? I think it does, and I notice there's a couple of little dashes here, bing, bing, just little dings like that. It's much more effective than, I don't want to see too much of this sort of thing. Don't want to see that, so what you want to do is try and flash the blade straight across like that. That's nice. A couple more down here like this. Oh, come on. That's nice, look at that. Go in again at this side as it goes into the darker, just bring the shade out a little bit. You really will start singing the elephant songs now, because whoosh, just to show his tusk off there a little bit. He's sort of nearly the elephant, so perhaps it's more of a girl's name, isn't it? And I don't know much about elephants, but maybe these little tusks just mean it's a younger thing or something. You see, you don't have to know too much about this stuff. That's nice. And then we're going to go just down, continue down here. That's not such a good one, it's in a bit of a funny place that. But there, I want one close there, but then I want another little gap before the next one. It's quite dark, so it goes through there. Look at that. See how it starts to come alive. Bring this tusk into play a little bit more, like that. Very nice. I'm just going to quickly go into this eyeball over this thing over here. Sort of a couple of lashy things come out there. That's really nice. Look at that. It's really giving it some character. A bit of something in his ear like that. Just that to match up with the other ear, yeah. And then we go down just to get the little trumpet hole at the end of the thing. Let's get in there, like that. Just pure and simple, like that. Now we're going to have a few coming down here. I'm going to go a bit lighter. So we go here, like that. Maybe a couple more on the edge there. Nice, couple of nice ones in there. We'll just bring that dark in there like that. L'éléphant, that's French for elephant. L'éléphant est rouge. That means the elephant is red, although he's quite clearly not. So then we're going to go onto the leggies. I'll start off with some. I'm not going to bother with toenails on this. I just like the way it just goes into the real dark. So that's sort of thinking as you go along and changing your sort of approach. Just a few little creases there on the back leg. Now we get onto this one here. We go across like that, and then some really light ones. I want to get some lighter ones. So I'm going into the white on my palette, so we get lighter there. Do you see? Yeah, I like that. I like that bigly. We will have to obviously once again clean the brush as these wrinkles go into the dark. Once again, darken those. Maybe not that much, but just for demonstration purposes. I like to sometimes slightly exaggerate stuff, just to really ram it home, and also show. We keep going, keep looking, keep checking. Don't just go all the way down like this. You'll end up with just stripy legs. You don't want that. You want to keep looking, keep making, keep lots of negative space. You don't see that. That's part of that. What we talked about earlier. That's part of what the notes you don't play is right there. Another gap there. Bring him round, swerve him round, and straighten him up down the bottom. And I'm liking that. Look at him charging through Thundergrowth. That's how they say undergrowth up north. Thundergrowth, they say. They don't. And for those of you, our northern friends, how lovely to see you. Here we are. I'm doing an exhibition next year which largely involves locations in the northwest of England, which is one of my favourite places. A little flash up there. Look at that. Now that's all his creases done. All we've got to do now is bring a little bit of character to the eyes, yeah? He's a bit flat, isn't he? Like that Pink Floyd song, like Black Holes in the Sky. What's it called? Shining You Crazy Diamond, isn't it? So just a little dash of something down there. That already is giving him something, yeah? Then we're going to just have a little bit of something there. That gives him something more. Just two little lines, jink, jink. But now what we really want is to get that little sparkle in the eye, alright? So we're going straight into the white. Tiniest little dollop on the end of your brush. Just a little bing, all done, bing. See that little lot? One over here. Bing, oh, bing. Oh, and then just this tiniest little something up there, tiny little thing down there. Clean the brush. This is going to be really subtle. If we can move right in on this, I'm just going to get right on the end of this white and just smooth it in. Oh my god! And then the other end, clean the brush. Look. And get it in there and just tease it out. Oh, look at that. I just reckon we need to marry up. Just get this black a little bit further down here to even it up. And I think there we've got it. And that's your elephant. At this point, I'd simply say the 3 Fs. No, the 1 S and the 2 Fs. Sign it, frame it, flog it. See you next time, folks.